Hello, everybody. It's the American Doofus Show. We have a live stream up from Philadelphia where there was a mass gathering at Malcolm X Park, and they have taken to the streets. It appeared they briefly encountered a group of Antifa that were not part of the march, and it appears they have rerouted. Basically, just going to put this on and let it go and hope everything remains peaceful. Just in case it doesn't, we will get it to you. It's the American Doofus Show. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. As always, thanks for watching. Again, we're in Philadelphia. Protests, violence last night over the killing of Walter Wallace Jr. And turn up the volume and we'll listen in. Again, if you're just joining, it's the American Doofus Show. We've got live footage from Philadelphia. Thus far, it's been peaceful. And we hope it stays that way. This is in response to the latest police action shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. in Philadelphia that happened yesterday. Walter Wallace was armed with a knife, according to police. And you can see the incident on the previous episode here of the American Doofus Show. Again, the feed is from Ruptly, R-U-P-T-L-Y. It's live from from Philadelphia. Sorry, I'm so conditioned to showing the Louisville action. and I am not familiar with Philadelphia enough to tell you where they are. You'll notice police on the side of the streets, and you'll also notice police on bicycles, kind of patrolling the sides of the protests at times. Christine, I just saw your comment. I just happen to be sitting up here by the phone at the moment. I hope it ends. I really do hope it ends. I hope at some point we can get back to a rational, thoughtful nation, if we ever were one. But we have to do better. We must do better. By law, this killing will be justified because of the rules that have been set up. If the man did, if Wallace did indeed have a knife, I couldn't tell from the video. But I started to say before the chanting, the killing will be justified as the way the laws are set up now. But I personally believe there could have possibly been alternatives other than deadly force. And when will it end? When more people have the attitude that police are not infallible. Let's listen in. If you're just joining us, it is live footage from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. The video is from Ruptly, R-U-P-T-L-Y. And I've got to do the legal disclaimer. I'm not responsible, nor is the show accountable for any language or any dialogue from the live stream. I'm going to be up here by the phone for a couple of minutes. Anybody has a comment or a question for me while I'm sitting up here, I broadcast from the phone. Okay, the question was how was it justifiable? It's not to me personally. I cannot justify what I saw. But the way the law is set up, if he's within so many feet of police officer with a deadly weapon, then they have the right to use deadly force without consequence. Yes, I know the live streamer. Renee, I somewhat, 95% of the time, I agree with you. They shouldn't have the right to take a life. There are situations where morally it might be justified for the police to shoot someone, but they should be more about bringing people in and letting justice run its course, in my opinion. It's just my personal opinion. Thank you. They're in West Philly. It is. The timing is hella suspicious. That's close to Halloween, which I predicted would be a night of violence, as well as being hella close to November 3rd and official election day. Can we see the police back on bikes again? And again, this video is from Ruptly, R-U-P-T-L-Y. And according to YouTube standards, it's being shared for informational and educational purposes, not for entertainment. Yes, I do. I just caught that question almost disappeared. I saw that. Yes, I personally, my conspiracy theory has been that there would be a dog whistle from someone high up, possibly the president. I think that might have happened already, and that violence happens on Halloween, 3 days before the election, and the media portrays it so bad that martial law is declared and the election is suspended so that there's no chance of a particular group getting out of power. That's just a conspiracy theory of mine. And Renee, I am going to probably stay home on Halloween, absolutely. Oh, the row houses in Philadelphia. At one time, they were an elite area, but over the decades, they have become more run down and. Far from indicative of the whole city. I spent 10 days in Philadelphia in 2016 at the Democratic National Convention as a Bernie Sanders delegate, out in these streets protesting, trying to start a political revolution peacefully, I might add. Once again, the number of women involved and the number of women not only leading but active on a consistent basis is something that I don't think enough attention's called to. No, last night wasn't peaceful, Vince. No, it wasn't at all. Sadly. I'm talking about tonight, though. So far, so good. Yes, it is West Philly. It's early, Vince. I'm still hopeful it ends peaceful, but fearful that it won't. And one of the reasons I'm live at the moment, in case it doesn't, so that whatever does happen, it gets out there. Hey, thanks, Vince. The more we talk, the more open we are to listening to other people, the better off the country will be, because, man, we got so much more in common than we do have things that could potentially divide us. Now, my personal opinion, I don't agree with the Black Lives Matter organization. I personally don't agree with totally eliminating all police. I don't agree with some of the other policies they bring forth. However, I don't have a problem saying Black Lives Matter, because they do. All lives matter. But at this time, a focus needs to be put on what's been happening to black people, in my opinion. There are a bunch of police at that location. I will say that, and I would think that it would stay peaceful. I would think it would be asinine to do something with that heavily armed and well equipped group, and the other group primarily appearing to be armed with nothing but signs and righteous indignation. I'll pop back to the couch and we'll listen in. Hey, Vince, actually, I'm having a panel of viewers. I'm going to have five to seven viewers, and we're going to record it this weekend to play probably Saturday night. My email is americandoofus@gmail.com. Send me an email. I'd like to have you come on and be part of the panel for one of the episodes of the show, if you'd consider doing so. And thanks for being open-minded enough to hang in here and watch some. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm Barry Welsh. I'm your host. Normally, this is not how the show goes. We are watching live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the moment, protesting the shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. shot yesterday. That video's in the episode before this. Go back a couple of episodes and you'll see what the show's really like on a normal basis, if you would, please. If you're just joining us and first-time viewer, thank you. I don't know, this becomes, I don't know, counterproductive with so many different voices, in my opinion. I'm going to turn this down just for a second. Because this, the chant of Walter Wallace reminds me of a couple of things I want to say. First of all, Walter Wallace becomes another name added to, well, an ever-growing list. Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, of course, and Breonna Taylor, and so many others. But some of these names become national. They become symbolic. And while I understand it, I totally understand why it happens. I totally get it. The thing is, these were lives. These were, it's not hashtags. It's not. It's not. It's sons and daughters and husbands and wives and brothers and sisters and children and moms and dads and families that are impacted. And when the names become as big as some of these names become, I feel tremendous sadness for the families, because it seems like it would be incredibly hard to grieve with it constantly being thrown loudly, the name of your child. And while I'm sure the families are invigorated to see the cries for justice, nonetheless, when you lose somebody, there's a process that we all tend to go through in grieving. And I just I've been thinking about it for a while and wanted to say it on the show. I just think it's incredibly taxing on the families, I would imagine, of those whose names are now etched in history, if you will. And the chant from Louisville that first time I heard it was, we don't want to say another motherfucking name. And then they would say a name and say, we don't want to say another motherfucking name. And they would say another name. And I hope there are enough of us in this country at some point that we stand up and say, look, this has to stop. This has to stop. And we do it through constantly chipping away at monolithic thinking that all communities of color believe the same way, think the same way, act the same way, speak the same way. All white people believe the same way. All cops are bad cops. All. And the media, traditional media, advertisers, the government are always trying to find ways to divide us. And whether it be age or pigment of our skin or demographic or geographic area we live in, whatever demographic there, it's things are targeted and things are, you know, used to divide us. And my hope is that there is a political movement that springs up out of all of this that understands that there's not a whole lot of difference between Republicans and Democrats, that understands that this country doesn't need to be torn down. Systems need to be changed. Things need to be changed. And in my opinion, the biggest change we need is to have a viable third party to challenge the duopoly of Republicans and Democrats. And one of these times on an episode, I'm going to lay out why, with inside information, I firmly believe that. But for now, I hope there is a revolution that comes from all of this. Not a violent fighting revolution that I fear and that we talk about on this show, but an actual political movement. I don't know, the internet party, because this is where the power's at. The revolution's not going to be televised. The revolution's going to be live streamed. Yes, police need to be held accountable. And having impunity, having qualified immunity does not answer that. It just perpetuates what's happening. Hold blacks accountable too, absolutely. Absolutely. Not saying that at all. I don't think anybody's saying that. Actually, what I hear a lot is the blacks want to police themselves. They want to have control over their neighborhoods because they know the people there, and they know if there's a domestic dispute that chances are it'll cool down, and eventually they'll hug and make up. But police from outside that neighborhood that come in don't know that, and we just saw what happens. So I don't think there are so many forces that try to make it a thing of pigment of skin, a thing of race, a thing of black and white, and it is not black and white. Look at the pictures. Look at the pictures we're seeing. It's not a black and white thing. And I want to speak. I just saw that. I just saw the comment there. There is a myth perpetuated through traditional media that the myth is black on black crime. Now, it's not a myth that there is crime between black people. That's not a myth. But calling it black on black crime as if it is some unique kind of crime just is one of those things that divides us. Crime is generally an act of convenience, if you will, an act of locality, an act of oftentimes desperation, and in the area that you're in, and that's why there is black on black crime, because of desperation in the area they're in, and the area they're in, there are other black people but it gets called black on black crime in the media, and therefore it's some kind of unique situation. You know, you don't hear white on white crime. You don't hear, you know, a white man killed another white man on the news. You just hear a man shot a man, unless it's a black man, and that needs to change. That's a small fundamental change that could, in my opinion, that could stop us from seeing what we're seeing like this. I'm sorry, but really, look at the statistics. Crimes are generally um, crimes are generally based on location, not necessarily race. And there are other things in our society that are perpetuated and repeated and just divide us. You know, like a prime example is you see you see you see a white guy in camouflage and carrying a gun, and he's automatically considered racist by many people. And that may be the farthest thing from the truth. But if all we do is just assume, then well, then we don't know. We see a black person with a gun, and there are those that automatically assume militant or criminal, and it could be the farthest thing from the truth. But that's where our society's at. There are some that if you see a black man driving a nice car, they assume that he stole it. And whereas you see a white man driving a nice car, you assume he's successful. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But it's just my opinion and something to think about. And night, what? Hey, before you disappear, no, it's not 100% true. No, I said some people on everything I listen. Not everybody. That's what I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to get away from monolithic thinking. I'm trying to get away from the fact that we all think each other are things that we're not. What is it that I will? I'll check my email as soon as I get done with the live. Um, night, night. What is it? What is it that I don't get? You said you couldn't stay in the live very long. I'm just curious. I like, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm trying to learn. Yes, Sway. There are those that do automatically assume that, and it's wrong. But you're right. It is, and it's not everybody. It's too many. In all honesty, I'd like to know what's going on the other side of the block in the street over there, because there are police lined up over there as well. I understand why the streamer's not giving up his position, because anything breaks out, he's in prime filming position, and that's what he's supposed to be doing. But I sure would like to know what's going on over there on the other side. Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I've got friends. I've got some biracial friends. I've got black friends, and all of them work jobs. This is the part I like right here, when all the yelling stops and people start talking to each other. Let's listen. I just saw somebody throw something in the background, and oftentimes that's when things break out, because a water bottle being thrown at a police officer is considered a potential lethal weapon. They don't know if it's filled with a flammable or a poison, and or if it's empty or just with water, and it often becomes a trigger. So let's hope no more things are thrown. I've got to say, I've never seen a vehicle roll up through a protest like that. And I've been watching protests for 156 days, I believe it is, straight. You know what? All of a sudden, thinking out loud, all of a sudden, I'm thinking this doesn't look good either. Simply because the way the police have themselves positioned, and just from a strategic point, they have an L shape, which if breached leaves the backs of officers exposed, and I'm not sure what is going on the other two sides of the block, whether there are police lines or not. But just from what I'm seeing here, just from a strategic perspective, there are way too many people still there. There looks like a lot of police officers, but if the masses started coming, I don't think they would be able to hold them back. And again, that would just leave the the officers on the other part of the L would leave their backs exposed. And that's not, that's, I've never seen Louisville line up like this. But at the moment, they're looking through the crowd that is visible. You don't see a lot of helmets. You don't see a lot of gas masks. You don't see a lot of things that. Well, I normally look for if there's preparation for an event to happen. But it's just got a weird vibe to it all of a sudden. When that vehicle came rolling up, and I noticed there was one on the other side. If somebody is from Philly and knows there's a history of these vehicles, or they're a regular occurrence, let me know about that if you would, please, in the comments while I'm sitting up here by the phone. Okay, thanks. I had never seen anything like either one of these vehicles roll up in protests either, so. I just saw the comment about the curfew. I assumed there was a curfew to be in place after last night, but I wasn't sure. And again, I'm assuming now it's getting close to that time. And my personal opinion would be, okay, it's curfew. I'm going to peaceably leave in order to come back and possibly protest again. I don't see a whole lot of point in getting arrested. I know that's not always a popular sentiment, but. Oh, there's a George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery sign. Is that what happens? Is that standard operating procedure in Philly? Once the curfew, then the cops will start pushing into them and making arrests? Yeah, I think you're right, Nicole. I got a comment on that. Philly being its own, like I said, I spent 10 days out there in 2016, and where I'm from, you know, when you walk down the street, you see somebody, you say hi, or you say, you know, how you doing, and doing that in Philadelphia, people looked at me like I was, you know, why the hell are you bothering me? So I understand the concept that it could be its own little universe. Oh, somebody just threw something. Okay, there don't appear to be a line of police back behind. In, on the other side of the block is what I was referring to. So they're in an L shape. The L shape at the corner does divide the crowd. I'd like the live streamer to give us a look. Thank you. Now give us a look back. Yeah, they really could. If they came down 2 other blocks, they would have the police basically surrounded. The yeah, Louisville. Somebody mentioned Louisville didn't know what they were doing, and you're right because they had no. Oh, somebody just threw something else. Yeah, really, stop throwing shit. No, that if that would have happened in Louisville, it would have been on. Yeah, I don't understand the position the cops are in the L shape they're in, because there is a potential for them to be boxed in from all sides, and there are overwhelming numbers. I see the bottles are coming. You're right. Do they have to give do they have to give an announcement that at curfew? They did that they had to do that in Louisville. They had to say, like, you got 15 minutes, and then you got 5 minutes, and then you're all subject to arrest. Do they do that in Philly? I don't know if anybody else caught this or if it's just me, but there's a woman in a black coat with a black hat, slightly to our right of mid-screen. She's got her arms folded. She hasn't raised them in protest, and she's constantly scanning. I don't know if she's security or if she's just incredibly aware, but it looks almost like she's looking for something to happen, and she doesn't look to be there to protest. And we've lost the feed. Thanks for viewing. If it comes back on, I'll be back on. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus.